Welcome to the deep dive. Remember that feeling? Scrabbling for the TV guide, hoping your show was on one of, what, 3
Oh,
channels?
yeah. Or the morning paper.
Exactly. Grabbing the daily newspaper thinking, okay, this is the news. That limited world, it feels like ages ago now, doesn't it?
Completely different world.
So today, we're plunging into this really fascinating paradox of our digital age. This incredible freedom of choice we have with content, but also this new kind of overwhelming challenge that's coming from just this sheer volume of AI-generated media. Okay, let's really unpack this. That power of choice, right? Having access to almost endless stuff with just a tap. It feels, well, incredibly empowering.
It does?
It means we can find exactly what fits our, unique tastes or needs.
Yeah.
Obscure documentaries, super specific hobby blogs. It's really changed how we consume everything.
And what's really interesting there, I think, is how that explosion of choice for such a long time was seen as just purely good.
Right.
It fueled so much creativity, catered to tiny niche interests, allowed for these really personal experiences. Actually, studies show that when content is tailored to you, engagement can jump by like up to 30%.
30%.
Yeah, you feel more satisfied, you feel more in control. It's like having, I don't know, a bespoke content buffet right there.
Yeah.
But that very personalization, while it's great for engagement, it ironically kind of sets the stage for the exact overwhelm we're now feeling.
That's a really sharp point. We got used to the super personalized, always on stream. But then, like you said, here's where it gets tricky. Because there's this flip side that's just becoming impossible to ignore. The AI content flood.
Yeah.
I mean, we're seeing AI generating content at this astonishing rate. Billions of pieces every year. Billions.
It's staggering.
And it's not just text, right? It's news articles. It's those deep fake videos, those super realistic fake ones.
Which are getting harder and harder to spot.
Exactly. It's everything. And this sheer volume, I mean, it just completely swamps our senses. And honestly, quality often seems to take a hit as platforms just push for quantity, right? Driven by algorithms.
Algorithmically pushed content, yeah.
I've definitely noticed how much stuff feels repetitive or formulaic, maybe even misleading sometimes. And that, well, it naturally makes you start to distrust what you're seeing. Is that just me, or is there a real psychological effect happening?
Oh, you're absolutely spot on. It really raises this important question about the psychological impact.
Right.
Psychologists talk about decision fatigue,
Yeah.
It kicks in when the number of options just goes beyond what our brains can comfortably handle.
Okay.
Think about it. Maybe 150 choices a day before we kind of start to just tune out.
Huh.
150.
So imagine navigating a world where you're just constantly hit with way more options than that, where simply deciding what to read or watch becomes, well, exhausting.
Yeah, I can see that.
And maybe even worse, as AI gets better at mimicking popular styles, popular trends, a lot of content starts to look and sound the same. Homogenization.
Exactly. Endless streams of similar top 10 lists or generic how-to guides, This sameness risks a real loss of originality. And when that happens, our interest just fades.
Right.
There was actually a survey, I think 2023, found that 62% of people felt overwhelmed by online content.
62%? That's huge.
It is. And maybe more striking, 28% admitted they'd actually lost interest in media altogether because of it.
Wow, 28% just losing interest. That's actually quite chilling.
It's that paradox of choice turning into, well, apathy.
So, okay, given this this overwhelming landscape, the real question becomes, how do we take back control of our digital experience? So this deep dive, that's what it's all about. Exploring these dynamics, the good that came from all that choice, the bad that's kind of emerging from the AI flood,
Right.
and figuring out some practical ways forward, how to navigate this new landscape. We've looked at various sources, including some really valuable research from Kevin Brake on, quote, what to do about the flood of AI-generated content.
Yes, his work is very relevant here.
So our mission for you, the listener, is to help you become more informed, more resilient, so you can actually benefit from the digital world without just being drowned by it. So just to recap the core challenge here, that power of choice, it's a gift, right? A really revolutionary one.
Absolutely.
But this AI content flood, it's really testing our resilience, our attention spans, often leading to this kind of digital apathy where everything just blends together. It's about finding that balance again.
It is precisely about finding that balance. And, there are clear, actionable things we can do to navigate all this noise.
Okay, like what?
Well, first, curate intentionally. Really actively use tools like RSS feeds.
Ah, RSS. Sort of old school, but effective.
Exactly. It lets you choose the sources, cuts out the algorithmic middleman, basically, or build trusted playlists. It's about creating your own digital filter.
Building your filter. I like.
Second, prioritize human-created content. Seek out, podcasts like this one, original blogs,
Mm.
videos where you can hear a real person's voice, their perspective, their expertise shining through. Value that human touch.
Makes sense. What else?
Third, really work on developing your media literacy. Learn to spot the hallmarks of AI content. Sometimes it's perfect grammar, but kind of weird, generic phrasing.
Yeah. Or slightly off images.
Or those uncanny images, right? And crucially, cross-check information. If something feels off, check primary sources. Don't just take it at face value.
Good advice.
And finally, and this one's maybe overlooked, but so important for just our mental well-being, take breaks.
Digital detox light.
Sort of. Just step away from the screens entirely, even for an hour. Go for a walk. Read a physical book. Let your mind wander without input. It helps reset your focus. You'll come back feeling, well, renewed, more clarity.
That really does connect back to Kevin Brake's point, doesn't it? Where he asks, we're drowning in AI content. How do we navigate the noise?
Precisely.
And these strategies you've laid out, curating, valuing human creativity, building those literacy skills, and yeah, critically, stepping away, they seem absolutely key to answering that vital question. It's about being proactive, not just letting it wash over you.
Exactly. Be proactive, not passive. And, if we zoom out a little, connect this to the bigger picture, it raises a really interesting question for you, the listener, to think about.
Oh, what's that?
Well, how might our very definition of valuable information, or even what we consider original thought, how might that evolve as AI-generated content gets more and more sophisticated? Maybe even indistinguishable from human work eventually.
That's a deep one.
What does that mean for our own curiosity?
Yeah.
Our own drive to learn and explore things for ourselves.
That is definitely something to chew on. We genuinely love to hear your thoughts and experiences with all this. Please like this deep dive if you found it useful, and definitely leave a comment below with your insights.
Yeah, we'd love to hear from you.
And for anyone interested in, diving deeper into media literacy or the future of content, there are loads of reputable online resources, academic journals out there. They really explore this fascinating intersection of technology and information. We really encourage you to explore further.